Stonemaier Games has a new title that I just saw, and now let's talk about it. Wyrmspan. This is for 1 to 5 players, ages 14 and up, and should take you about 90 minutes to play. You are an amateur dracologist in a world of Wyrmspan, a place where dragons of all shapes, sizes, and colors roam the skies. Excavate a hidden labyrinth you recently unearthed on your land and entice these beautiful creatures to roost in the sanctuary of your caves. During a game of Wyrmspan, you will build a sanctuary for dragons of all shapes and sizes. Your sanctuary begins with 3 excavated spaces: the leftover spaces in your Crimson Cave, your Golden Grotto, and your Amethyst Abyss. Over the course of the game, you will excavate additional spaces in your sanctuary and entice dragons to live there, chaining together powerful abilities and earning the favor of the Dragon Guild. Wyrmspan is inspired by the mechanisms of Wyrmspan, although its unique elements to Wyrmspan make it a standalone game and is not compatible with Wyrmspan. So there goes what the publisher had to say about this. I have not played Wyrmspan. I've heard a lot about it. I've talked about it. It was on a gaming radar last year, actually. But no, I have yet to get the game. I've yet to play the game. I haven't experienced it. But seeing this makes me... I am more interested in this, because it's dragon aspect, than I am in the original Wyrmspan. And if either of these games make it off the radar to my actual shelves, I bet it's going to be this one. So this is, as the last line of the publisher thing said, this is not compatible. This is actually a standalone game. There's nothing that the two of them mix and match together, though the play styles and rules are generally basically the same. Don't think that if you have one, you need the other to complete the series. These are 2 completely different series that are not interchangeable. Now, I think this is an interesting concept. The whole thing about finding these caves and working them almost like aviaries, nursery aviaries, to attract these mythical, fantastical creatures, these dragons. I think that's a good idea. It's kind of cute. So it goes beyond just like having a big year in bird spotting and bird watching. This is a little bit different. That's what I originally thought going into this. It was going to be like bird spotting, but this is different. You're actually actively trying to attract them, to bring them into, for lack of a better term, to roost. Now, looking at the art of these cards and these dragons and the boards and everything, really do capture my attention. I find that the art style really helps a game. And I've said this often because it's true that if you're interested in the way a game looks, if you think it looks good, if you like the art, then even if it's just a little bit, it still makes you want to play that game more than if you didn't like it. And the artwork for this is really great. From what I have seen, looking at the reviews and the photos, it is definitely I'm not even playing the game yet, and it feels like it's already trying to pull me in to this fantastically thematic world that Stonemaier Games have created for this title. Now, from what I've been told about the original Wyrmspan game, besides being a strategy game, it's an educational game. It does teach one about birds and their habitats, their environment, their lives, and that's good. Now, dealing with dragons, these are fantasy creatures. Everyone that talks about dragons, it's their own imagination, their own creation. This doesn't care. This just goes into it saying, this is what dragons are. This is their habitat. This is their environment. These are the things that they like, they eat, they live, how they sleep. This is it. This is it. I like it when someone takes that approach. I've seen other like dragon encyclopedias that have this approach. They have nothing to do with this game, but the whole concept that no matter what anyone else says about dragons, if they're in any other fantasy novels or games or something, no, my friends. This encyclopedia, or in this specific case, this game, is telling you what dragons are, where they roost, what they eat, their eggs. Yeah, this is telling you the truth, so to speak, in a fantasy sense. That's very cool. I like that. It's something else that caught my attention. Now, again, I have not played the original Wyrmspan, but from what I'm seeing from other reviewers that have played both these games, if you are used to Wyrmspan, if you know Wyrmspan, this game is going to have, it's going to be different. Although the rules and the mechanisms are basically the same, there are added things that make this a much deeper, more strategic game from what other reviewers are saying than the original game was. So again, I'm going into this blind from one game to the other. I know nothing about either of the two of them. I would say that if you get used to Wyrmspan, and it's a little bit more of a strategic game, then you shouldn't have any problem whatsoever picking up and understanding the rules and the concepts behind winning a game of Wingspan. Kind of like backwards engineering there, I guess. I don't need the reviewers to tell me what I can discern myself that this is going to be a really fun family game. If your family likes fantasy concepts and tropes, dragons specifically, yeah, this game is going to be good. You're going to enjoy yourselves. Your family's going to have a good afternoon or evening with Wyrmspan. But that's the way I'm thinking about it. But why don't you go get more information? Don't listen to just what I have to say about this or any talking head, who could possibly, you don't know, be bribed or paid off or gifted to say whatever somebody wants them to say about it. Go watch some playthroughs. Find some playthroughs of Wyrmspan, and that will help you decide whether this is something you really want to play, have on your shelf, have on your table, have a game night of. So go get more information on Wyrmspan.